Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Copilot Compass, where each week we take a deep dive into Microsoft 365 Copilot. As always, I have the pleasure of being joined by my esteemed colleague, fellow Copilot enthusiast, and resident smart guy, Logan.
Thanks, Grant. Happy to be here.
Logan, why don't you give the folks a little preview about what we're going to do in this week's episode?
Yeah. So to celebrate our 25th episode, we're going to kind of change up the pace a little bit, and we're going to be going over our personal top five use cases for Copilot. So yeah, it should be fun. Some of the demos might be some things you've seen before, but yeah, these are basically the things that we enjoy the most. And as always, make sure you stay tuned to the end for a sneak preview, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah, I can't believe we're already at 25 episodes. Seems like, kind of as I was typing out, the previews here for the episode and typing out that 25 number, I was like, wow, I just can't believe it's,
Yeah.
we're already made that many episodes. But,
Yeah.
thanks for those of you that have been sticking along with us through this ride. As Logan mentioned, we're going to show five of, our personal favorite uses of Microsoft 365 Copilot. And Logan and I are going to divide and conquer. We're each going to have a couple of demos that we'll cover. So specifically, what are we going to cover? So first one I'm going to cover is going to be the in-meeting experience with Microsoft Teams. So kind of you run late to the meeting. How do you get caught up? How do you make sure you don't miss things if you're getting sidetracked with other, maybe other Teams messages are coming in or emails. So we'll show you how Copilot works in Microsoft Teams. Then Logan's going to talk to you about using Copilot in Excel to clean data. From there, I'm going to show you how to make a PowerPoint presentation based off of, in our case, it's going to be a Word document, but you can do this from variety, other things like PDFs. Then I'm going to turn it back over to Logan. Logan's going to cover another Excel use case for us, which is a common one, very common one. A lot of customers ask us about this, is querying your data with Copilot. And then lastly, I'm going to wrap it up with summarizing a PowerPoint deck using Copilot. So we're not going to go as deep as we typically would in our normal Crow's Nest demos. This is going to be more high-level overview, quick showcase of our favorite use cases, and we're excited to celebrate our 25th episode with you with our personal favorite, 5 use cases. So, ready to dive in, Logan?
Yeah. Let's get started.
Awesome. Let's do it. All right. So they sometimes say save the best for last. In this case, I'm saving my personal best for first. So this is the in-meeting experience of Microsoft Copilot. So to demo that, we actually record each of these episodes in Microsoft Teams. So I'm showing you our recording of this week's episode. So to set a scenario here, I think we've all been here. You run a couple minutes late from a previous meeting, previous call runs long. Now you're 5 minutes late to your next call, or maybe you had we're in a conference room for a call. Now you're getting back to your desk and joining a Teams call, and you're late. Could be a number of reasons. Maybe you just forgot. It happens to the best of us. So you're a few minutes late. Now, prior to Copilot, you stop the meeting. Somebody has to brief you on what's been discussed, and now everybody's frustrated you're late. They've wasted some of their time. And, if you look at a cost to a company of wasting multiple people's time sitting in a call, it can add up. So, have no fear. Copilot is here to help you. So in this, case, I might want to, I'm running late to the meeting. Now, instead of stopping the call, I just Teams chat everybody, say, hey guys, sorry, I'm late. I'm here now. And I can just ask simple questions like, hey, summarize the meeting so far. Or another one that is really can be helpful is, are there any action items for me, or was my name mentioned at all? So maybe I'm just going to ask a quick question of summarize the meeting so far. Simple, quick, and easy. And again, nobody has to rehash this for me. Copilot is going to help me here. So it talks about what have we discussed so far? We discussed preparation for our 25th episode. We introduced the episode. So you can see here how this can be a valuable use case in saving time and frustration from your teammates. All right, so for our next demo here, we're going to talk about creating a PowerPoint presentation based on a file. So you could do PDFs, other file types. For the sake of this demo, we've got a Word document. Before I tell you about what the document is, we're going to get Copilot started here. So As always, two ways I can interact with Copilot. You've got this nice icon sitting up right here, right above the title slide. I've also got the experience here on the right that kind of pops open the chat pane. With the PowerPoint presentation, you're going to get a little bit more robust of an experience with the icon. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. It's going to pop up, most recently opened files. I can also certainly just copy the SharePoint link or OneDrive link and use it there. In this case, it was my most recent file. So I'm going to have Copilot create a presentation for me. Simple as that. To give you some background, this is a Word document that is a mock RFP response for building 5 replica pirate ships. So we've got the long RFP response. Now we're going to make this executive summary type of deck, like an overview deck. So something that for us used to be super time consuming, we've now got a good first draft in the matter of, 26 and a half seconds. So you can see here, it's kind of given me an outline. So it's going to give me some ideas here. I might want to reorder things. So let's say, for example, I want to switch the order. I want to do design and construction after technical specification. I can do that, switch it. You can add sections to it too here. Let's just say for sake of demo, quick and easy demo here, we're going to just call it good here. I've reorganized one thing and calling it complete. Now you're going to see Copilot do its thinking here. So it's going to start to build out that presentation, kind of shows you the flow that it's thinking for this particular, executive style summary. What we're going to start to see here, it's going to start adding titles and then kind of content within that. It's going to put in, placeholders here for different sections, kind of keep that deck nice and organized for you here. So now I'm starting to see those, kind of the meat of the content for each slide getting populated. In just a second here, we're going to see it finish up. All right, we are nearly there. And then once it's done, we'll show you this, but all you do is you just click in on it and it's going to take you to like kind of that traditional editing experience right there in PowerPoint. That's where, you can start to reorganize things, maybe add some themes to it. It's going to pick Copilot. It has a few themes that it likes, but it's going to pick a theme that it thinks makes sense. You can always change the theme. If you're not familiar with Slide Masters, would recommend you take a look at that. What we do with this is we kind of have a Slide Master template that we use with our own branding, our own footers, headers, text schemes, things like that. And we'll just apply that Slide Master theme to the deck. So it picks that and kind of gives us a consistent feel. But in this case, it's picked one. It's got some cool, actually, I kind of like this. It's got some ships and stuff in there. But yeah, again, all I do is double click. And now here is my first draft of my RFP executive summary. All right, so our last demo today is going to be about summarizing a lengthy PowerPoint deck. Super helpful. We've all been in a scenario. You got a meeting coming up in 2 minutes. There was a PowerPoint deck that was shared in advance of that as a kind of preparation or something you're supposed to review, brief yourself for the meeting. You didn't do that. Either you forgot, ran out of time, whatever the case may be. Before Copilot, you're going to open that deck up and skim it quickly. Probably miss a lot of key points, but at least try to get the context. Copilot is here to make that 2-minute window much more effective. So before, when I was creating the deck, I showed you the experience clicking on the icon here. Now we're going to just go ahead and use that right pane chat for the sake of showing you the other experience here. So what this is going to do, it's going to pop up like your traditional sort of chat interface. And you can ask questions of Copilot here, but maybe you want to start with just the simplest one, which is just summarize the deck. All right, so it's popping up for me here. So I'm just going to say quickly and easily, summarize this presentation. And it actually popped up as one of the suggested prompts for me here. So here's what it's got. Quick, easy summary, some bullet points here. Maybe I want to ask some additional questions of it, or I want to say like, okay, I want to dive a little bit more into this project scope. So I just click on the icon here. It references exactly where it's picking it up, and now I can take a deeper dive myself looking at the material itself. So again, Copilot to help you summarize presentations, really helpful. Same use case also applies to things like Word documents, emails, lengthy email threads. So again, really helpful, makes you effective in your time when quickly reviewing material.
So for my demo, I'm going to go over some Excel cleaning. So we've done this in the past, and last time I probably hovered over this button here, but didn't actually click on it because I kind of wanted to go through each step by step and kind of talk about them. But most of the time you're cleaning data in Excel, this is super helpful. So clean data with Copilot. Copilot just has a few suggestions that it sees. Um, you can take a look at the data here. It's pretty clear that some values are missing, that we got some inconsistent spelling and spaces and capitalization over here.
Looks like I typed it out.
Yeah, exactly right. There you go. So let's see what Copilot has to suggest as far as cleaning goes. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button, and we can see it pops up in our pane here, and it's going to kind of go through everything it sees wrong with it. So table one may have redundant extra spaces. Should we remove them? We got 14 of them. Let's just go ahead and click apply. And as you can see, when I'm hovering over it, it's highlighted on the left where it sees those errors. So let's just go ahead and click apply. And boom, we can see all of our spaces got kind of even out there. Uh, the next thing it notices is some inconsistent text. So we can see that, sub C val sometimes it's not capitalized, sometimes it is capitalized. We got some weird spaces and stuff. So we can basically select the whatever we think the proper value should be here. So replace the selected value with sub C val, one capitalization on each letter there, or sorry, on each word. And we could just go ahead and click apply. And it's going to go ahead and fix all that for us. Same thing here with drill bit. So you can see a bunch of different variations of how we have drill bit in our data. We can just go ahead, apply. Same thing with ROV, sometimes all caps, sometimes no caps.
Yeah.
And we could just see it kind of cleaning over here on the left. And then last we have our subsea pump. We can go ahead and click apply here. Yeah, so that's just sorry, yeah, go ahead.
I said it was easy peasy.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. And, for like an example like this, it's pretty obvious. You can see, there's lots of errors there and stuff. But, a lot of times you might have an enormous Excel file with like one or two errors that you're not going to be able to catch just like with your eye. So that like pop up that's show suggestions button is super helpful because, Copilot might recognize one or two, mistakes in your data that you would never catch by eye, even if you, had combed through the data a handful of times. So yeah, it's a super helpful tool and yeah, something I use quite a bit.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing this one.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so I'm going to help Logan out with this one because this is another one that we get that's super common for us to hear from people out in the real world using Copilot that this is one of their favorites. It's the query with your data. So you've got an Excel sheet. Maybe it's just like something you've exported from a third-party system. It's just raw data. You don't want to have to engage like a data analyst or a Power BI person or Excel guru to help you kind of clean that up. Instead, maybe you just want to ask a few simple questions of the report that you have. And that's what Copilot's here to do. It basically, you can be like a Q&A type of agent for you on data. So again, really helpful for one for us here. I'm going to pop up that right pane experience of Copilot chat, the chat type of interface. And what I have here is just some sample data of like production data that we have based on the facility, who the production manager was, the date, and what product we were producing on that day. And of course, how much of it did we produce and what was that production cost? So I want to maybe ask it a simple question of, let's say, in what month did we produce the most? And let's pick one, let's say drill bits. So simple question. I could, filter this out by month and have it, kind of hover over it to give me the quantity produced for each month and then compare the numbers that it comes up with for each month. That's time consuming, very manual. I would much rather just ask that simple question to Copilot and it's giving me that answer here. So it shows me the data here. I can challenge it. How did you calculate this? And this one, I mean, this is a simple calculation, but if you have a more advanced question you ask, especially if you're going to be sharing this information or using the data that it's giving you to make a decision, you might want to challenge it and just say, how did you come up with this number? Kind of have it show its math, so to speak. So yeah. quick simple question, gave me a simple answer, 493 in October of 2025. So again, query with your data, chat with your data type of stuff, very valuable, great use case for M365 Copilot. In today's journey of the Copilot Compass, for our 25th episode to celebrate episode number 25, we showed you Logan and I's 5 favorite use cases with Copilot, gave you a quick overview of those, and hopefully these are some that you're going to find valuable.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. Yeah, I mean, these are our favorites, so I hope you guys enjoy them too. And yeah, if you do, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And remember, in the future, we will have Q&A sessions again. I know we didn't this week.
Yep.
A little bit different of the format this week, but next week we will have a question of the week. So make sure you submit those either via email or by leaving a comment in the comment section of this video. And remember that new episodes are released every Tuesday, and stay tuned to get a sneak preview of what we have coming out next.
Thanks again for joining us, and we're looking forward to seeing you again next week.
See you next week.